Hi, what's up guys? It's me, J Wolf, and as a special request this time from J Wolf Eats, because I haven't been on for a little bit, I'm going to do a double meal, first of all, and this is for my homeboy in Norway, with hi bro, that's hello brother in Norwegian. I hope I said it right. If I didn't, I'm sorry. What's up bro? I'm doing the video like you asked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to make, it's a bean dish my mom made. It's beans. But it's, I'm putting my own variant to it, so I can't wait to show you it, and let's get into it right now. Okay, getting right into this, I've got these beans, and I eyeball everything. Like when I'm doing the recipe out of the book, they tell me how much, and I'm eyeballing this. So what I do is I put my beans in the pot first, and don't think I'm gross, I'm going to wash them. I just want to see now, depending on the pot, the beans will tell me how many beans I need. So, I need about that many beans. I'm going to take them in here, and we'll be back in a minute. I'm going to go wash these off, get them all nice and washed off, wash out the pot too. So, we'll see you in a minute. Alright, we're back. I got these beans all nice and washed out, all rinsed out. I rinsed out the pot real good too, so don't worry. It is nice and or clean. And or, no, it is both. I'm going to get some, I use bottled water. I'm going to fill up the bottled water to about right here. And I'll show you when I'm done, but I'm going to fill up the bottled water to about right here. And then I'm going to just start them boiling. And then we'll take you to some of the next steps.
Go.
All right, now I prefer to use bottled water. You don't have to use the best, but I prefer not to use tap water. In Sacramento, we don't have the best tasting tap water, so I don't really care to use it all that much. So I'm going to use bottled water. It's a little more longer, but you know, it's worth it for the taste in my opinion. You know, I'm not too picky. If I'm going to boil like macaroni, I'm just going to boil it in tap water and get rid of it. But, and then, you know, pour the water out. But this water is going to be part of the meal. Your broth becomes part of the flavor later on in the meal. And if it's made out of some, you know, yucky water, it's going to be yucky. So we want some nice, yummy, fresh, bottled water. It's not even the best. I know it's not Arrowhead, it's not anything, but at least it's purified water. So we will be back and I'll be showing you some more steps that you can take while this is boiling up to get things ready, so it'll be a little bit easier for you when you put it all together.
Alright.
Hey, what's up? Alright, here we are, back again. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take two, I've already peeled these and washed them, but they're about two small medium-sized carrots. And I'm going to shred these up. Really simple. I just use myself a potato peeler to peel the carrots. Makes it real easy. And then I just shred them up with a cheese grater. And I don't know how else anybody else does it. I am not a professional cook. But, you know, you got to make do with what you got to make do with. So this is the way I've always done it. If anybody knows a better way or has tips or tricks to anything I'm doing, please put them in the comment section. Because everybody can always use a little bit of tips on how to cook. And, you know, especially as guys nowadays, right? All these girls, some of them don't know how to cook. You gotta know how to cook for yourself out there in the waste anymore. All right. Here we go. All right, we'll come back when I'm done with this and show you some more things.
One.
Okay, so we're done with the carrots, and next we're going to have, I'm using currently this right now. My ex was so lovely when she got our food for the month, because she gets me food for the kids. She does do her part. It's 4 pounds, but I think it's 2 pounds of bacon I'm using right now, because it's 4 pounds for each side. So I'm using 2 pounds of bacon. And I'm just going to shred these up. I have a pretty decent knife here. Hope I have it sharpened as soon as I said that. No, it's not as sharpened as I usually have it. It's a little bit sharper than this normally. But you're just going to sit here and shred this bacon up fairly thick, but not too thick. You want it kind of in chunks, because this is going to be great in the food. It's great. It gives it that taste like, I don't know if anybody's had beans and ham hocks before, but if you ever had that before, it gives it the taste of the bean and ham hock without having that kind of pig's hoof inside there. Because really, those ham hocks just pretty much taste like good bacon. That's the way it's always tasted to me when I've had ham hocks. And that's what these are. So I'm going to chop up these ham hocks, or these bacons, and I will be back to show you the next step. And we're back. Next, we're going to do the onions. As you can see, I've already chopped that part off right there. And this is how I do my... Oh, let me throw that back there. Oops. I don't know why he's following all the garbage around, my cameraman there. And then I do this to get my onions most of the time because it's just easier. I know some people, I'll get that in a minute. Some people waste a little bit of onions, or they say I waste onions. I don't care. It makes it easier for me to peel them this way. Helps me get any gunk, any clean problem. Fresh, nice onion. Now what I'm doing is, you can see I already have it over there. I'm going to do this, boom. And I'm just cutting it in eighths, but I'm cutting it in eighths like triangles, okay? Because I want those big, thick onion curls in there. I don't know what they call them. Again, not a professional chef over here, but I want those onion chips like that. And that's going to be how I'm going to do my onions. My next step is I'm going to take these guys and I'm going to chop them up. So I'll come back and show you those all chopped up. I think I need to clean these guys up. And we'll be back in a second. Oh, wait, hold on, stop. Sorry, I had a little technical difficulty with the camera there. I was trying to get these chopped up and miscommunicated with my cameraman, so you might have heard a little stop recording real quick right there. But we're okay. Pretty much we're just cutting these up this way. I do not like to save these edges. I've never liked these. Some people, again, say they're wasteful to do that. I don't care. I'm getting rid of them. Don't worry. I cook messy, but I always clean everything up. I like to keep a clean kitchen here. So this is pretty much the bulk of the vegetables we're going to be using. The only other thing I'm going to be using, and I'm not going to open it up yet, is stewed tomato. Now, I prefer to use good, like, whole tomatoes, real tomatoes, but I can make these work really well, and I'm going to show you. Our whole tomatoes, I guess they went bad. I just bought them like 3 days ago. I had them ordered from Smart & Final and brought to the house, but I don't know what happened. They're bad now, so they went bad pretty quickly. I guess you didn't pick out the bestest tomatoes. But we have these First Street stewed tomatoes, and they will work great. This is actually what my mom normally used. I prefer fresher ingredients, but these still work out real great. And I'll show you a trick to do with them to make them taste real good, to make them flow real good with the texture and the flavor of the meal. So we'll be back in a little bit and show you what we're going to do next. That's a big piece of meat right there. All right, this is something my ex got me. It's a huge amount of meat, and it was frozen together, so I want to keep the integrity of the meat tasting good, so I'm going to be doing 2 meals. Some of this is going in my beans along with that bacon. That's right, you heard me. Hamburger and bacon in the beans. That's what I'm talking about. But some of this is going to go into my own special type of meatloaf I'm going to do. So I'm going to get digging into this right here, cutting in this big old boy, and I am going to get us and show you some steps to make some awesome meatloaf. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back, and I got half the meat right here, about half of that big old thing. And we are going to make a huge old meatloaf out of it. We might use more than half to make the meatloaf, just because I'm trying to use more of it up. I don't know if I can fit half of it in with those beans. It's a lot of dang meat. Okay. Now what we're going to do with this, I'm going to do my own special type of marinade. While my beans are cooking up, I'm actually not going to do much to this except pour a whole bunch of whiskey on it. That is right. Get a good amount of whiskey in there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do next is, I can screw that lid back on there. Brown sugar. All right, you notice I'm using Jameson whiskey, and I say I just eyeball everything, you know. That's going to be enough brown sugar, really. I mean, I don't know. That looks like about a cup and a half to me. That'd be about good enough either way. And this was 10 pounds of hamburger meat, so this will be about 5 pounds I'm using right here. And my hands are clean. Yes, they are. Don't you worry now. You know Jay Wolf, he's a clean freak. I'm kind of a bit of a germaphobe, actually. So, all right. We're going to get this meat all nice and mixed up. And, all right. You see how I don't got a lot of juice there? I don't like that. I like that I've got the meat driven in there. But I'm gonna have my camera guy hold the camera on the meat real quick, and I'll explain as I'm walking away here. I want to wash my hands and put a little bit more whiskey on there. And that's why I go through so much whiskey. I get it for cooking, and I go through it quite a bit because I do love it. It's better to me than vinegar or red wine vinegar. I think it adds an extra texture, and it's not like it can get you drunk or nothing. It gets cooked out of the food, of course. But, okay, now what I'm going to do with this is pretty much put a lid over it, and you can go ahead and look at me. I'm gonna go ahead and put a lid over it, and I'm going to let it set in the refrigerator basically while my beans are boiling. And when I come back, I'm going to show you how I put it together as the meatloaf, and we'll also show you, we'll finish up the beans and show you what we're doing there. Now, I might have a couple more of me coming back and showing you checking on the beans, showing you just me checking on and adding water and stuff like that. But then we'll get back to the meatloaf when we're done with the beans boiling, okay? So we'll be back soon. All right, I gotta check on my beans. What's up, YouTube? All right, check this out. Now, I came in here a couple times since then and actually checked on these and steered them up. And whenever they get about this low where they're at right now, see where that water's at, you want to give them a shot of some more water. You want to get them more, you want to make sure you keep the water in there. But these, I actually know for a fact, pull me out one of these beans. They should be getting pretty tender now because I've checked on them about every 10 minutes, about every 10 to 15 minutes I've checked on them. And we're going to go ahead and just see how squishy that is. It's still a little crispy, but that's okay. We're ready to move on to another part for ourselves here. What we're going to do is we're going to add this bacon in. Remember this big old bunch of bacon? We're going to add that in there now. Oh yeah, look at that right there. Ugh. Bacon. Now you might notice we're going to need some more water. I mean, obviously, because it's, you know, more matter going in the pot. Let's keep that camera on the pot while I get it filled up, stirred up. And I ended up using a whole other bottle of water. That's probably going to be perfect right there. Okay, now I'm going to have my cameraman keep that on there for a minute while you look at that deliciousness while I pull out some of my herbs and spices I do love to use. Alrighty then. Okay. First thing I like is a little bit of dill. Now, I do everything, this isn't like how I normally cook. I do everything by sight. So I'm going to put just a bit of dill in there, about that much as you can see. Now, I'm going to also add me a little mustard because I like to get a little tart flavor, but not as much as the dill. I just want a little bit of that ground mustard in there, not as much. Now I'm going to get me a good amount of this tarmac in there because this is going to give it that almost chili-esque taste. You want good chili, this is what gives you good chili. Now I have kids, so my son likes spicy. My daughter does too, but not as much. So I'm not going to put as much as the cayenne in there as I normally would. I probably would put a lot more in there than that, but I don't want it to be too spicy for my girls, all right? So ground cumin is also very good in here. Now, you don't have to add all these things in here. I'm just saying that this is what I like to put in here. Beans and cooking by sight. It's really about cooking by taste and flavor and texture. It's what you want in there. And that's what's good about this. Whether you're making beans, chili, it doesn't really matter. Now, I'm going to go ahead and keep it on the beans real quick here for a minute. I'm going to get my salt and pepper if I can here. All right. Where is it? There's keep it on the beans. I'll be there 1 second. There, YouTube. Hold your horses. Because I like to use fresh ground salt. And again, this is the taste. You may think, oh, Jay Wolf, you're putting too much, or oh, Jay Wolf, you're not putting enough. Last time I was seasoning something, I said you do this part to taste. Somebody said you put too much. Somebody said you put too little. It's like, man, you know, it's to taste. That's what it means. It means you put what you want in there. I'm just giving you guidelines to cook by, you know, so you know how to get to where you want to be. Now I'm going to get all that nice, and that's going to, oh, and you can ask my cameraman, that is smelling freaking delicious right now. It is. That is good, 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 good. But we need to get those beans softer. We need that bacon to cook. So I will keep it on high still, get it to boil again, and we will be back at it again in a few minutes. All right, gotta check on my beans. All right, guys, what's up? Okay, I did put a lid over it the last time I checked on them, just so you guys know. Got them boiling here. Oh my God. Oh, that smells good. I'm torturing everybody in the house with this. Okay. Now, you remember all the other ingredients we chopped up? We are going to dump these onions up in there. We're going to dump all this stuff up in that good... Oops, get the rest of those in there. All right. And we are going to dump this in there. Okay, all right. There we go. We'll get that all good and mixed up in there. Obviously, we're going to have to probably add a lot more water, as you can tell, because that made the pot get real full. Hope my cameraman's holding that fairly stable. He looks like he's shaking a little bit there. All right. We're going to add a bunch of water in here. All right. Okay, that's our kitty cat whining outside. They're outside cats. They're for hunting mice and stuff. We do not want them in the house. But when I gets to cooking, they come up to the window and they're like, "We want some of that food." No, you don't have to show the cats, please. And all right, I'm going to show. We'll be back in a few minutes, and I'm going to show you what we're doing to the meatloaf. All right, now we're going to get on to the meatloaf. I'm going to get some salt, ground salt in there. There we go. It's been sitting in there for a good 2 or 3 hours now, just marinating in that whiskey. And now I'm using a little cumin. Cumin's really good for this too. I like the taste. I like to do the meatloaf kind of a sweet and savory type of thing. That's why I do it this way. All right. Now we're going to get this coriander. A little bit of that too. And I just eyeball everything. As you can see, I don't really know what ingredients to give you, because when I'm cooking this way, when I'm cooking home style, it's by feel. You get the feel of it, you get the idea, you know how much you're going to need to make it really taste good. And now see, all that liquid is getting sucked back up into that meat again, if you see there. Now when I move it around, it's all, and it feels very mushy, mushier than meat normally would, because it's very juicy from all the whiskey that's inside of it. Okay, I'm going to be back in a moment. I'm going to show you what to do with the eggs. Okay, quick note. I didn't reduce the heat on this yet, and it's okay. It's been a few minutes. But I wanted to let you guys know after you add the vegetables to make sure you do reduce the heat. I didn't. I'm a dum-dum. I'm putting it down to about 4 on mine, but it's really, you just want to get it down to where it's not boiling so bad like that. And we're going to let it simmer for about an hour. Just wanted to let you know that, and we'll go right back to the meatloaf. All right, we got the eggs. I got 4 of them right here, all nice and beat up, because, you know, they were a hard fight. Okay, and then I'm going to take this meat, I'm basically just going to stick it in here like this, right? Okay, and I'm going to get it meshed in here. And what you want to do is, oops, you know, I did this in reverse. I'm probably a dumbass, so put that back in there. I need to get the eggs over the top of this. That's the idea. This has to, the eggs got to be mixed in there. I forgot about that. Like, that's the whole reason I did them. Because you need to, it makes the meat stick together, pretty much is what it does. It's the best way for me to put it. I'm going to throw that baby in there. I know, that looks like awesome, doesn't it, right? It doesn't look nasty or weird looking at all, huh? But this is meatloaf. Okay, and once we get it all nice and tucked in, so it's going to make a nice little picture of our meatloaf. Okay, my cameraman's going to fall and crack his head open. Okay, all right. Okay, and we'll see you in a few minutes. You're welcome. Okay, guys, this might surprise you, But I'm poor, so I have a really crappy oven. I'm going to put this guy on. I like to bake them at 350. I know some people do 400, 450. It really depends. You can do 350. We're going to do 400. And typically, you let this set for 10 minutes. That preheats the oven. And then after you're done with that, you're going to stick the meatloaf in, and you're going to wrap some tin foil around the top of it. I have to go grab my tin foil, so I will be right back. Alright, so the voices in my head were getting just a little too weird, and I had to put a tinfoil hat on, but everything's okay now. I'm going to put the tinfoil on the meatloaf too. I figured, you know, good enough for the meatloaf, good enough for me. Shiny side on the outside, boys and gals. And we've got this oven nice and preheated as well. Well, oh, ow, ow. Anyways, there we go. And you, that's yucky. Ow, ow. Okay. I feel good now. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Go, I'm putting this big old meat. Oh, there we go.
Meat stick.
Right, now I just gotta get this hamburger meat done right here. Okay, sorry, we had a little technical difficulty, but we're back. You probably won't see it on the actual video, but I had some stories. Alright, we got our meat in here. We were having some difficulty with my camera, or my phone, because it said memory full, and I deleted it and had to restart it and a whole bunch of other things, but hopefully we're okay, God willing. I think we're all right now. We're still recording. My cameraman's doing good. Now what we're going to do is just that other half of that 10 pounds of hamburger meat we had, and I'm going to get a lot of salt and pepper in it, you know, and dig my hands back into it. You didn't know we do what we do. All right. This is going in that beans. Down beans over there. Okay. All right. Now I'm just going to drop this because I've been warming. Some more technical difficulty with my phone. I'm going to try to splice this together real simple and easy, but yeah, we're having issues with my phone. I deleted a whole bunch of videos I've made and other things, and it just keeps... Oh, ooh, almost lost that one. Good thing to keep my drain boards clean. But, yeah, it's just no good here, man. I was like, geez Louise, okay. Getting that turned up a little bit so I can get this meat cooked. Now this is more about, for me, doing it this way, it's more about getting it a little cooked up. You don't have to get it fully cooked in the skillet. The idea is to get a lot of the grease out of it, really, before you get it into the pot. That's why I cook it in the skillet first. So I can fry some of that grease out of the taste and then move it into the skillet without all the grease with it. So we're going to come back when I'm done cooking this up and when I move it into the beans, and we'll see you back for the taste test and everything else. Back, YouTube. Took me a minute to fry up this meat. Now I'm using a spoon I have here with holes in it to help me, because I don't want all that grease. It's not healthy for you, and it really doesn't add to the flavoring of the beans at all. It just doesn't add to it at all. It doesn't help it. It's just not good. So I'm going to get as much of this hamburger meat in here as I can. And the cool thing is, whatever I can't get into the pot, because the pot is pretty full, but that's okay. Whatever I can't get into, I will just use for burritos tomorrow night or the night after, because I got meatloaf. Pay attention there, moms, women out there. You can get things. You can take the time, you know, a couple hours in one day, and you can have 3 meals ready to frickin' go that are awesome, that are homemade, that taste good, that are healthy. And it's not that hard, you know? Again, I didn't say non-fattening, I said healthy. I don't want to hear anybody rolling their eyes out there. I make healthy food. It's not non-fattening at all. Fat isn't unhealthy. If you eat too much fat, it's unhealthy. I'm not saying I ain't guilty of that sometimes, but I cook healthy food. Vegetables, full balanced meals, not this tofu bullcrap that's turning our boys into a bunch of fey, you know, soy boys with more estrogen than most women have in them. That's not good for a boy to put all that estrogen and stuff in them. So I'm going to try to get some more meat in there. I am going to try to pack that full of meat. That's what I'm going to try to do. Because, I mean, yeah, I want every piece of my beans to be full of some meat. I want people to go, that's some good beans. That's some good beans with my meat. That's what you want. Some good beans with my meat. All right. Oop, dang it. I'm going to have to clean all that up. I should have drained that a little bit more. There's just so much grease right now. So that's why I do this. I don't want all that grease in there. And, you know, because she gets the cheaper stuff. And it's like, I prefer 70 lean. But, you know, honestly, if you kind of do this and, like, strain the grease out, it's not as good as 70 lean. I'm not saying that. But, I mean, it's still better than nothing. Ah, man, okay, I got that overfilling now. So that's got to be enough right there. Okay, we'll be back in a few minutes while I clean this mess up and get other things done. See you in a few. Okay, everybody. So I ended up giving the cats the leftover meat that I couldn't get into the pot because they're out of food and they were begging for some. So I'm not heartless. I'm going to make some gravy out of this, though, since I have that meatloaf I'm doing, and I'm going to be serving that up to the kids tomorrow night. And Mom, I'm going to make me some gravy. And this is how you make gravy. It's really, really simple. You just put... keep it on the pot, if you will, Joe, for a second. I'm going to get a tool I need. Alrighty then. Okay, so pretty much you put so much flour like so in a cup. You can get a good idea. And then I'm going to get, if I can find the right tool here. That'll work. I want to get actually some of this right here, right? I want to get a little bit of that oil in there. And then I'm going to be sneaky little Pete. And I'm going to steal some of this sauce for my gravy because the sauce is so freaking awesome. This will really heighten my gravy. And then all I'm going to do is fill the rest of this up with water, like so. Okay. And get it real nice and mixed up. That's the idea there. And this is how my mama showed me how to make good old-fashioned gravy. It's the only way I know how to make gravy. Depending on what type of oil and stuff you put inside this and what you use the oil to put it in depends on how good it is. So when I was really young and we were really poor, I'm pretty poor now too, but I mean we're way poorer than I am now. My mom would pretty much do this to make biscuits, and then she'd do it again to make gravy, and she put the gravy over the biscuits, and it was like one of the best meals like ever, even though it was just flour on top of flour. Oop. I really didn't want that floury flour there, but that's okay. What I'm going to do now is get some water in there immediately, and that's really key because you don't want lumps in your gravy, and you really want to just keep it going. That's the key to gravy, is just keep it stirring. Now that I'm in this mode, I'm going to be like this for a while. And it's short, just like this. That's how we do it, okay? And see how it's getting thicker? We add more water. Okay. Now I'm going to be pretty much doing this for a while. I'm just going to be sitting here, wisping it like this. And as it thickens up, see how it's getting thicker? As it thickens up, I get more water in there. And I'm going to keep doing that until it's cooked. And you can tell when it's cooked. And I'll show you when this is cooked. We'll come back to it. I'm going to turn my temp up on it just a little bit. I'm at 5 right now on a simmer. I'm going to bring it up to an 8. Well, between 8 and 7. And I'm just going to keep doing this. See, I can already feel it thickening up. You can kind of see it getting thicker. And as it gets thicker and you feel it getting thicker, you just add a little bit more water. And yes, I'm using bottled water because it will change the flavor of your gravy if you don't. So I'm going to just keep doing this, and we'll be back in a few minutes, and I'll show you what it looks like cooked. All right, now we've almost got this gravy done. See, now all I've been doing has been taking this water, pouring it in there when it gets too thick, and cooking it. Now, see, I got it to where it starts getting hot and boily, and it's not getting thicker. That's how I know it's almost done. I just need to get it a little bit more boily. See, it's boiling up, but you don't want it to boil too long in one spot because no matter... So we've been having a lot of technical difficulty, but all you missed is I kept steering like this since it was cooked, and I lowered the temperature all the way down to off now. So the gravy is done. And we're going to be back in just a few seconds to show you what to do with the beans, and then we'll be completely done with everything. All right, now we're on to the beans. Now we're going to do something that looks kind of familiar. We're going to be taking this flour over here and putting it in this cup. And not quite as much as we did before because we're just thickening these up a little bit right here. Now we are going to use that same trick we did before. We're going to take this right here and we're going to get a bunch of this water in here because we want that same flavor with these. Now what we're also going to do, all right, we've been having a ton of issues, so I'm going to try to get through this last part really quickly so you at least have the recipe. I put the flour inside this cup right here. I put a bunch of the water that was inside this right here. I put some more of the same basic seasonings I had already added to the beans, and then I put it in there, and it thickens that up real nice. That's what it looks like right there. I'm holding the camera and not letting my cameraman do it just because I want to get through this quickly. Now I'm going to also try to give you a taste test at the end of this. So thank you guys so much, and sorry about the problems with the video and the problems with showing you how to do the flour in the cup and everything else. Thank you guys so much for understanding. Your quick taste test from the woman who knows the most. There's Momo. Go ahead and give us a big bite, Momo, and tell us what you think. Oh, it's kind of hot, huh? Uh-oh. You okay? How's it taste? Good. Awesome. All right. Well, we got the approval. So, please like, subscribe, watch more. Thank you guys so much, and so sorry about some of the problem with the video again in this one. My phone was acting up real bad. So, thank you so much again, and Norway, I'll see you later, bro. Bye.